So lots coming to the 85085 zip code and the surrounding areas. I am joined right now with Scott McGill, and he is with MCG Commercial, and you are the owner, you are the guy, you know everything that's happening in the area. Can you just give us a little bit of an idea of what things are moving into this? I know we're standing where? Right where?
Right where Oregano's restaurant's going to be put in a few months from now. Yeah, so what's happening in the North Valley is a massive growth based off of the TSMC plant that's been in effect for over 2.5 years. That will be 2 of 6 fabs right now. They're on their 2nd fab, but what it's doing is bringing massive growth to the North Valley. As you see, we're standing on a retail development that was started about 5.5 years ago, and now it's come to fruition. People are moving in, people are doing TIs, but as a whole, you're going to see this entire area turn into a huge little city of Phoenix, and that's what it's being called, is the little city of the TSMC.
Okay.
So it's going to be coming over the next 3 to 5 years, and you're going to see massive growth.
What do you mean by massive growth?
Sure.
How many people do you think? Or what are we looking at?
Yeah, we're estimating somewhere over the 5-10 year mark that we're probably looking at another 100,000 people in the North Valley and in various different areas. Massive multifamily growth because right now we are not at a place where multifamily is good in Maricopa County.
Right.
We're actually down 35% based off of the rest of the United States. And we have 2 semiconductor plants and a tech company being built in the local area that's got to support those people coming here.
So let's talk about that, because I have, as you know, a local realtor here, and I specialize a lot in this zip code and live in this zip code and have for almost 20 years. A lot of people come to me and say, all of these apartments, is this going to hurt our home values? What is this going to do to our neighborhood? Have they overbuilt? What do you say to that?
Sure. Well, they haven't overbuilt. The massive growth in employee and homes that are needed for these employees, plus all the construction workers over the next 10 years with just the TSMC. Then you have the tech company, then you have all the infrastructure for retail, for multifamily, for all the housing that's being built. You have to have a place for them to live. And when we're down 35% based on what the United States average is, we are really behind. As we look here today, this is a very high hub for multifamily. We're anticipating somewhere around 5,000 units alone right here. But these are people that have to live, and they may not be able to afford a home in this local area. The other wave that's coming is the massive amount of houses that are coming. And that's going to cater to the higher end paying jobs that the semiconductor plant will be giving to those employees. And I think what you will see with this massive growth, I will see that everything trends up. We haven't seen anything trending down. Our values and our commercial values across the board, we see that like 7 to 10% each year right now as we speak. So I wouldn't be too afraid of it. It's just people are not going to like growth.
Yeah, I know, and that's typical, because this area used to be in the middle of nowhere. It was kind of a ghost town, you know, when I first moved here 20 years ago, and you know, the shops at Norterra, they were hanging on by a thread, it seemed, for a while during, you know, 2008, 2009, and then it's come back, you know, full force.
And I can speak into that a little bit. I know the brokers for Norterra, the ownership is great. They turned that around into something that's more friendly to people that want to go there, and now it's hard to even find a parking space.
You're right.
So we have restaurants, we have various different things that are just conducive to people that want to go out maybe on a Friday and Saturday night. And I think that's what you're going to see with the new retail developments that'll be coming across the road, is that this will be a live, work, and play. And that's exactly what they want for the North Valley.
Right. And then how about hotels? I know there's a hotel that is going in right across from shops at Norterra in the Union Park area.
Correct. So that's almost finished, and that's going to be a big boost for those executives and people coming in for different various reasons, for companies and for, you know, conferences. But however, there is another one coming across the road that was just announced a few weeks ago. I anticipate more. Just because that is a type of retail development that people need to be into when you have a massive amount of growth in the North Valley. And if you see in the Gilbert and Chandler area, there are brand new hotels all over the place because they have to support those people.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it's amazing over in that Far East Valley to me when I see, oh, this great new restaurant, and it's like, oh, it's in Gilbert. Everything seems to be in Gilbert.
Sure.
Kind of feels like maybe that's going to start happening in this area.
So I think what actually hit the news a few weeks ago was the large mixed-use retail development that's going to start on both sides of the I-17.
Right, but mostly just that west side of I-17.
Well, Halo Vista will be over on the other
Halo
side.
Vista, I wanted to get to that.
Sure, it's a massive development of everything you can think of.
Right.
I anticipate some very nice restaurants in there. That's what the North Valley's always wanted.
Yes.
But with that, you're going to see multifamily, you're going to see industrial, you're going to see office, and then you're going to see just tech companies supporting what the TSMC is all about.
Right.
This side of the highway is a whole nother development. It was the development that actually did Desert Ridge.
Oh.
And they will be doing a large section of retail, some office, I believe, that is going to be huge.
Similar to that feel of the Desert Ridge?
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be that mall type feel, but in a different capacity that we're normally used to. So
great.
Yeah.
And then what everybody's been waiting for is Trader Joe's, Costco. Where's that going?
You nailed him. Along with Target and Hobby Lobby, that will be on the other side of the highway. That's what everybody has requested, Trader Joe's and Costco, for years. That will be coming. We're probably 2 to 3 years out, give or take. So everybody needs just to hold on a little bit. But with that, they'll announce more as we come into the development phases. And I think people are going to be like, well, we don't have to travel to Desert Ridge or Scottsdale or the Southeast Valley anymore.
So let's talk a little bit about, you are on our village planning committee.
Correct.
I wanted to just chat a little bit about, you also get people that, like you said, people are going to, not everybody, but let's say 50-50, like everything, are going to rage against growth, right? They're not into it. They don't want it. They don't want traffic. They love that this area used to be sort of, just a quiet, quaint little area.
Sure.
Then the other half of the people are complaining because we don't have any shopping, we don't have any dining, we don't have any of those things.
Yeah.
But coming from like the village planning committee, what do you know about, or what can you share about traffic, infrastructure, that kind of thing? Is that all being, like 19th Avenue, it looks like between Joe Max and Happy Valley, looks like, that's finally going to get widened.
Sure.
What's happening?
Yeah, so what's funny, before any of these developments started coming to us on the board, the infrastructure and those entities were coming to us and telling us what they were going to do. The change of I-17 and 303 will be massive. At this point, there will not be stoplights. It'll be a flowing machine in all directions.
Okay.
And they're going to add, obviously, more lanes and things like that.
Because it's a cluster there right
It is
now.
a mess from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a mess.
Yeah.
I try to avoid it, but
That's one big area. I do know that Carefree Highway is going to be widened into 6 lanes. That will bring massive growth for the north part of that Halo Vista area. But the small pieces that we all looked at, like even out in front of Dove Valley, it took forever to get some lanes in and a light.
Yeah.
That will all be 6 lanes. There'll be a bridge that goes through down North Valley Parkway to down into 19th Avenue, which will support major growth because a lot of people use that artery.
Right.
But with all this, you cannot have such a large development, such a large amount of infrastructure coming in without the ancillary systems being able to work.
Right.
And I would say to you is like, hold up and just wait, but these things are going to start changing. Yeah, we're going to have some delays on the highway again, but it's more of, let's get ready for something that Maricopa's never even seen before.
Right.
And so that's this massive growth coming.
Right. Well, and the good news is they've, done some work on I-17, so it's a little bit easier for all of the people that want to head up north and kind of, get out of this area. But
Correct.
And that wasn't fun for people when
Not
that
at
was
all.
being built. But like you said, you just have to kind of hold on, calm down a little bit, understand that this is all part of the growth. Anything else that you want to add that I haven't asked you about?
Sure. I mean, I just think that, you talked about this area. I remember when this was Dove Fields, and believe it or not, they had one goat on this property to save the paying of taxes, and so they put livestock on this to be able to say it was agricultural.
Right.
The key, I would say, with the board and with those individuals that maybe have some concern about massive growth would be a lot of this is slated in state land or land that's already been slated in commercial zoning.
Okay.
Now, we may have to change a zoning, that's what the board is for, but this whole area basically is set for commercial real estate.
Okay.
And so I would just say, understand that there's things that they're going to want to see. They're going to be Costco up here. They're going to want to go to that. But sometimes that just means in a commercial development or state land trust where it's already slated for that,
Right.
they're just not going to leave it as a preserve,
Right.
Or land that's just going to be pretty and everything for someone to see.
Right.
It's going to go in development.
Yeah.
So.
And you and I talked about, I mean, obviously home values are very important to, well, both of us and to me because I live here and work here and sell homes. But it looks like all this development is going to just have a positive impact on home values.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel bad for some of the individuals that it's going to enhance the traffic in local areas, in the subdivisions, but I hope the downside is just that traffic, but the upside should be that you'll see values, you'll see a massive growth. Therefore, down the road, if that's something that they want to sell, they'll see that in the sale of their home.
Right. We've got the work trucks right now, sometimes I'm on the freeway on a Saturday anywhere in the valley, and I think, what is all this traffic on a Saturday? And then you go, we're the 5th largest city.
That's right.
And for those of us, like I grew up here, it's hard to wrap your brain around that growth when we're used to the good old days, I guess, if you will, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember I came here 23 years ago. You could drive down a highway at 8 o'clock at night and maybe there's 5 cars.
Right.
Those days are over.
Those days are over.
And you can't be the 5th largest city in the United States without having major growth. My only concern is I hope we don't turn into LA too quick. I still like the feel that you can get out of town and be up north and be in the woods somewhere.
Agreed.
So, yeah, but I don't think we're there quite yet, but it could be coming.
Well, and especially living in this area because, I own property in Prescott, so we can get up there in like an hour and 10 minutes door to door right now, which is fantastic. You can get up to Flagstaff quickly. We have to have the cool spots to go to.
That's right.
It's so bad here in the summer.
Summers are tough. Getting out of the heat is good.
Yeah.
But during that time is when we're still going to be doing massive growth in the North Valley.
Yeah.
And so, rain or shine, we're going to still move forward. But I think it's going to be for the benefit of all if you embrace it.
Great.
So.
All right, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.